Hi, hello, namaste. Welcome back to our channel, Balaji English Language Learners. This is Jyothi. I'm here again with the Unit 2 of 10th class. So if you see the Unit 2 here, this is a style sheet. Style sheet is nothing but the thing which we are going to learn. The theme will be displayed on this style sheet. So here the letters are given like, the words are given like wit and humor. So wit and humor. What do you mean by wit and humor? Let us know what is wit and humor first. Then let us go on with the other part of the things. So before going to the lesson part, wit and humor both are two different techniques which are used by the individuals. Between some difference can be understood. Like I can tell you that, let me define these two words. Firstly, wit can be defined as a keen intelligence, like intelligent, clever, that an individual will have. And a witty individual can make remarks that have a sense of intelligence. Now, humor, what is wit? Wit is intelligence. And humor, that humor is the other hand, has to be understood as the quality of being amusing. Okay, something like funny. The key difference, the main difference between the two is that wit emphasizes the intelligence, like it will be giving more importance to the intelligence through humor, like in a funny way, and the latter does not do, and it is not same vice versa. So let me tell you individually, wit certainly arises some amusement in a listener, but it may not be funny always. Okay, wit is nothing but the intelligence, as I told you. Now, humor can be defined as a quality of being amusing, I said. So, for example, if I say, imagine a situation where something humorous happened to you. I can say that just such as slipping on a banana peel or pronouncing a word wrong. Okay, so you may find many examples that made you laugh. These are the situations of humor. Humor does not have to be related to the situation alone. It can be something you heard, hear, or a book you read, or it can be like even a comedy show that you have watched. So now whenever you remember it, it makes you laugh. Hence, what I say you is, humor has to be understood by a feeling. As a feeling, you have to understand the humor. So the clear difference between the wit and the humor is that wit is always resulting in amusement. A person who is gifted with the humor is not only easy to be, but he should have some lively experience also. Humor can create a positive vibe around the people as well. Okay. So I tell you in short that, here I can tell you in short that wit can be defined as a keen intelligence. You can note it down in your notebook. Wit can be defined as a keen intelligence or else a natural talent for using words or ideas in a quick way. Now, humor, that can be defined as a quality of being amusing, funny. Wit is using the intelligence, but humor uses the feeling. Wit displays the intelligence. Humor may or may not display the intelligence. Wit can be used to criticize others. Humor is not used for the criticism. Am I clear? So these are the things I wanted to tell you. Now let us go on with the face sheet. Face sheet here, if you observe, two persons are sitting here. Look at the picture and answer the questions that follow. Answer the questions that follow. Let me zoom in. Oh shit, sorry. Right. Let me zoom in to you. Correct. See this picture? So can you tell the names of the persons in this picture? Yes. One is Relangi Garu and one more is Ramana Reddy Garu. Okay. So what are they famous for? They're the famous comedians actually. What type of characters do they play in the movies? They play the comedy roles. Can you recall any comic associated with them? You can see any, can you tell me any movie name associated with them? Yes. So now in the new textbooks, if you find, you will have a picture of a rat and a cat. Rat is holding a gun and cat will be being seen in a funny or a just like a fearful way. So the questions in that new textbook will be like, what do you understand from the picture? So the rat is pointing out a pistol at the cat and it is trying to threaten the cat. So now I understood that it is a funny picture. One can easily open one's lip without knowing to smile on seeing something unusual picture. Will the cat and the rat be in such type of things anytime? No, right? So now the second question is, I told you this picture which I am displaying, another thing, another textbook also have one picture that I am telling you. Can you recall anything comic associated with these animals? Like you can say that the most popular Tom and Jerry is associated with that, right? So Tom is a cat and mouse is a Jerry, where Tom will always be chasing Jerry, slapstick scenes, everything will be like that. But Tom's making numerous attempts to capture the Jerry, which lead to the destruction, right? It is something like fun, correct? So you have to write the answer like, yes, I can recall an incident which happened a long time ago in my old house. Like you can say, we used to see many mice in our old house because we stored paddy bags or rice bags in our house. One day our pet cat jumped onto the little mouse which was eating the grains. The little mouse began running, and you can continue the story as well you have known. So at the first stage, you can interfere that the drove cat away to save the life of the rat, right? So now the third question is, can you imagine what may be the conversation between the rat and the cat? Okay, I will tell you a beautiful conversation now between the rat and the cat. So now the rat starts saying that, hands up. Cat says, don't shoot me, I will not eat you. Rat says, no, I don't believe you. You are cruel. Now the cat says, believe me, I decided not to eat rats. I don't believe you. You ran after me yesterday, didn't you? Yes, but not to kill you. Then why did you run? I just wanted to tell you that I would not kill you thereafter. Well, how did you get the pistol? Is a question asked by cat. I stole it from the owner of the house last night. Cat says, oh, do you know how to shoot with it? Rat says, I will not tell you. Bye-bye. This is the thing happened in this lesson. I mean the face sheet. Okay. This is just an imaginary one. You can create your own also. You can just create on your own also. You can just create it and tell me. Correct? So now when you move on with the Dear Departed part 1, so you have to observe few things in this. These are the characters. Mrs. Amelia Slater and Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan both are sisters, right? So now Henry Slater and Ben Jordan are the husbands of Amelia and Elizabeth. So if you get an idea, the Slater is a word given. So Mrs. Slater is married to Henry Slater. Elizabeth Jordan is married to Ben Jordan, correct? Now Victoria Slater is a girl of 10, Amelia's daughter. And now Abel Meriwether is the father of both Amelia and Elizabeth. Till here, I hope you have understood the characters. Now, let us not waste the time. Let us just go on with the summary of the lesson so that you get in a very fine way. And here it is given that one act play. If you observe here, it is given as one act play. So, now what is one act play? One act play is nothing but that play which is happening in a single setting. Like the setting will be only one. It will not have much of the settings. You will not change the settings from one place to another. The curtain will raise down. All those things will not be there. It will be happening in only one place. That is nothing but the hall of Abel Meriwether's house. Or you can mention that as hall of Amelia Slater's house. So now I will tell you the summary. Just make a note of it. You can just note it down in your notebook too if you are willing to. You can pause the video and you can make a note of it so that it will be giving you a clever idea. So the one act play, The Dear Departed, which was written by William Stanley Horton, is a satirical play. It is giving you a satirical play that explores family relations and falsehood and hypocrisy and greed that often lie beneath it. So in the family, there will be a lot of issues, but still they act, they show their false relationships. They show their greediness, all these things. The story exposes the sad fact that human beings often become dehumanized in the face of greed and minor material gains. So for the sake of the property, human beings are, or some little bit of things, how the human beings are making it very, very, very drastic way, how they are not giving importance to the family relations. This story clearly reveals how elderly people are mistreated. Okay, so now in this story, the author uses his literary devices like giving the criticism, basic human characteristics, sarcasm, irony, humor, and a twist in the plot to criticize human doings or the human qualities. He tries to bring out the qualities of two daughters. And who are those two daughters? Mrs. Slater and Mrs. Jordan, towards their father, how they treated their father. He tries to show how the sisters are interested in the property of their father rather than to show the true care, affection towards their father. Now, if you see the Dear Departed Part 1, the story begins with Mrs. Slater telling her daughter Victoria to change her dress. Yes, Slater calls Victoria and asks her to change the dress before the arrival of her sister Elizabeth. Now, why Elizabeth and Ben, like both are husband and wife, are they coming is a question raised in your brain. Now, Mrs. Slater's husband Henry sent a telegram to them stating that in that message that father-in-law, like father-in-law of Slater, Henry Slater, and father of Amelia Slater, that means Abel Merriweather is dead. Okay. Now to talk over the old man's affairs like properties, now he has written a telegram. Now Henry is worried if they would come at all or not, because Elizabeth before, when they were quarreling, she said that she will never set foot in their house. That means she will never step into the house and again. This was the thing she mentioned when Elizabeth and Amelia quarreled with each other. Okay. Now, Mrs. Slater says that her sister will come fast enough because she wanted the share in the father property, whatever he has left, right? Now, Mrs. Slater asks her husband to wear new slippers of her father also. Then she also suggests to replace the old shabby chest of drawers with valuable bureau and to shift that bureau to the bedroom, which is in the bedroom, to shift it to the hall. Now, this Mr. Slater also agrees to do that without any hesitation. Now, then what happens? Mrs. Slater wants to do it before the arrival of Elizabeth only. Before only she wants to do it. Now, slowly what they will do, Mrs. Slater will fasten, close the door, and she will tell her husband to carry the old chest of drawer upstairs. And Henry is shocked. When Victoria was asked to change the dress, she changed the dress and came down. She is watching that. She can see that the old chest of drawers was replaced. And bureau from the grandfather's house or the room came down. Now, he replies to Victoria saying that grandpa has given to her mother before death. Now, Mrs. Slater, what did she do? She carries a handsome clock also and puts her onto the mantelpiece. Mrs. Slater and her husband carry the pretty old-fashioned bureau downstairs and put it in the place of chest of drawers. Slowly, they will replace it. Okay. At the same time, what happened? Victoria welcomes the Mrs. Jordan. Victoria welcomes Mrs. Jordan. And next, she will just straight away go to Amelia and kisses her, and men will be both shaking hands. Mrs. Jordan, what she will do? She will remark that father has gone at last. Now, Mrs. Slater also replies that 72 a fortnight, 15 days previous Sunday. She tells them that old man has been merry, means happy that morning, and has gone out to pay the insurance also. Ben and Mrs. Jordan both will have a very good smile on their face, thinking that father had paid the insurance. Then according to this letter, father, what happened? Father is found dead when she takes up a bit of something on for him to eat. Like whenever she went to house to call the father to eat something on the tray, she found that the body was very cool and he is dead. Now, Ben and Mrs. Jordan don't want to look at the old man. They prefer to have tea. And so what happened next? Mrs. Slater gets the tea ready. Then they'll be thinking of the public announcement of the death. They ought to be given and how how to write that one. Then also they will be thinking about the old man promised about gold watch to Jimmy. Yeah, did the old man promise gold watch to Jimmy? We don't know whether he have because it is not mentioned in the lesson. Then Victoria tells them that grandpa hasn't paid the insurance. Now Ben calls that Abel Merriweather father-in-law as the drunken old beggar. So starting when he came to know that he paid the insurance, he was appreciating. He said, very good, he don't wanted to trouble us. Now when he came to know that he did not pay the insurance, he's scolding, saying that he's a drunken old beggar. Both the sisters complained that they have put the father for all those years. They were talking with each other that I have taken care of father more number of years than you. Then Mrs. Slater asked Victoria to go and bring the bunch of keys from the grandpa's room. Next, now Victoria is little bit afraid to go because he is dead, right? But she will at last go after the scolding of Mrs. Slater. Now after some time, she gets back with scary face and tells them that grandpa is getting up. They are all now in transfixed confusion. Oh my God, what is this? They were motionless. Transfixed means here they were motionless with that amazement. Now vigorous, that lady, well-colored man, a very good, vigorous and a well-colored man, old man, Abel Merriweather comes into the place. This is a story about in the part 1. Okay, I hope you have understood till here. Let us go on with the Dear Departed part 2, which is a continuation of this lesson only, right? Which is a continuation only. Let us see what happened in this particular lesson. So now if you see grandpa is getting up, that was a thing happened, correct? So we will see this comprehension after completing this lesson, okay? So now in Dear Departed part 2, what happened in Dear Departed part 2? The first thing happened in Dear Departed part 2 is grandpa. That means Victoria's grandpa is coming down. And that person, they were mentioning that he was very good looking and vigorous. Correct? Now, if you see the part here in Dear Departed part 2, slowly the grandpa is coming down and now he observes everybody and asks Ben Jordan and Elizabeth Jordan, why are they in that particular place? Why did they come? Now, everyone were in shock what to say. They were just hesitating. Slowly what happened now? Slowly Amelia comes to the father and tries to poke him so that to find out whether the person is really dead. I mean, ghost, or the person is really alive. Okay, now when that was coming to be done, now what did Abel Merriweather do? Abel Merriweather will be saying that, oh no, please don't do that type of things. See, I can tell you that when Abel Merriweather entered his room, he was surprised to see his daughter and son-in-law actually, Mr. and Mrs. Jordan. The two sisters and their husbands can't believe their eyes also now. Abel comes forward to shake hand, but Ben retreats, like he will go a step back and go to a safe distance and stand. Now Mrs. Slater is poking Abel Merriweather with her hand to see whether he is solid or not. But Abel reveals that he is well enough, but he has a bit of headache. That's why he was sleeping for a longer time. Now, then he also asks for the new slippers. Where are my new slippers, Amelia? Then when he observes Henry wearing those, Mrs. Slater snatches them and gives to Abel back. He puts them on and sits in the armchair. You can see the picture in the, clearly you can see that Abel Merriweather is sitting in the armchair with his new slippers. Right. Then, now, I will ask why all are they in mourning? Because somebody is dead, that's why you're in mourning. Who is dead? Like that he's asking, why are they all in mourning? Mrs. Jordan makes up some story, like cooks some story and try to pacify him. She tells that Ben's brother has died. But Abel tells them to sit down and have some tea. He also suggests that them that to be all jolly way, funny way and enjoy the things, everything. Then he notices his bureau there in that room. He asks Mrs. Slater and Henry why they have been doing with this bureau. Right? Why the bureau is here? What are they doing with this bureau? And at the same time, he hears a clock striking 6. He looks at it and questions them why it is there. He grumbles and scolds for all the deceitful cheating acts. Now Mrs. Jordan starts blaming her sister for robbing all the things of her father. The two sisters start quarreling, fight with each other. Now Abel understands his daughter's dishonesty. Like he understands that both are telling lie. He comes to know about the reality. Abel does not want to stay with either of their daughters. He addresses his daughters directly and declares that he is going to change his will, leaving his property to whomever he is living with when he dies. Like now what happens? He says, I'm going to give all my property to those who are staying with me at the time of my death. Now what happened? Now both the sisters start again fighting with each other. She says that I'll take care of father more than you. I am the one person who is taking care of father for long year. Like that, they'll be going on fighting. Both the sisters try to persuade him. They're trying to convince her father, their father, so that they'll be staying. Now, he will be staying with them. Now, but Abel makes one big announcement here. What does he announce? He says that announcement will be shocking everyone. He announces that he has to got to do 3 things. One is he will pay the insurance. He's going to pay the insurance by going to the insurance office. Then he also says that he's going to a lawyer and change his will, alter his will. The second thing that he is going to change it as per he has told now, just now. And that means with whomever he is living with, he is going to share or give the whole property to them. And the third and the most important one is nothing but he has to go to St. Philip's Church and get married. He says that he's going to St. Philip's Church and going to get married. Everyone was shocked now. Abel reveals that he has at last found someone who is happy to keep him. When he leaves the room, he invites them to his marriage with Mrs. John Sherrock, who keeps the Ringo Bells. Ringo Bells is the name of a restaurant. He thanks Mrs. Slater for bringing the bureau down because it will be easy for him to carry across the Ringo Bells. Like it will be easy to take that to the restaurant for the marriage. Now about the author. The author is nothing but none other than William Stanley Wharton, as I already told you. He's a famous English dramatist. He creates very good dramas. And he was one of the best group of realistic playwrights. And often they used to call it the Manchester School. In every play, he will be giving some present an idea. He'll give some his own idea. It will be remarkable gift. For the dialogue that is evident in The Dear Departed. The Dear Departed was first produced in Manchester in 1908. Here he also satirizes about the degradation of moral values in the British middle class people. That's it from the lesson. And I hope you have understood both part 1 and part 2. And these are the things which I have to tell you in this particular class. Let us go on with the comprehension part in the next class. After the comprehension, we will be moving to vocabulary and grammar part. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. See you.